Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here, and welcome to this year's Christmas special episode of Jambareeqi Reviews. Can you think of any movies based on video games that are actually good? I'm gonna give it a go myself. I gave myself a migraine trying to work that out. So I didn't exactly have high hopes going into Elf Bowling the movie, the film adaptation of a video game series where you play Santa in a game of bowling using elves as the skittles. I have no idea how anyone could make a movie out of that, so grab your mince pies as we tuck into Elf Bowling the movie. Elf Bowling the movie is an animated comedy about a pirate called Santa Kringle, also known as Whitebeard, who ends up working as the head of an elf workshop, much to the dismay of his crooked brother Dingle, who still wants to pursue a pirate's life. While Santa is happy with his new job, Dingle is fed up and wants to take Santa's place so he can take the business in his own direction. To settle this, Dingle challenges Santa to a game of elf bowling, which is regular bowling but with elves instead of skittles. You know what's most frustrating about this movie? There's not actually much elf bowling. Yeah, most of this film is just a series of nonsensical comedic hijinks, with the elf bowling sport downplayed to just 2 scenes. To make things even more underwhelming, these bowling sequences only have 1 round for both players. If you're going to make a movie about elf bowling, then make a movie about elf bowling, or your film's title is very misleading! What's also weird is that the elves themselves actually like being knocked over by bowling balls and serving as Santa's skittles. It's like the filmmakers didn't want Santa to seem cruel for using elves as sports equipment, but it ends up making the elves seem disturbingly sadomasochistic. I mean, what is this, 50 Shades of Christmas? Not only is this really weird, but it also makes the elf bowling unfunny because we don't see the elves express any discomfort or pain when hit by a bowling ball. There's always consequences to every creative decision you make during filmmaking, and the creators of this movie clearly don't understand that. Don't start thinking that the humour makes up for this though, because it really doesn't. The comedy is incredibly flat. The gags are predictable, cliched, forced and poorly timed. Even children, the target audience, are bound to yawn or scratch their heads at this movie's idea of what is funny. Not only does the comedy fail on every level, the story we get instead of elf bowling is very poorly told. Everything is really rushed, from major plot points being skimmed over to characters changing personality in a heartbeat, resulting in a narrative with no natural progression whatsoever. Everything happens for the sake of it, and plot conveniences are handed to characters on a silver platter. It's like the writers wanted their paychecks as soon as possible, so they wrote as fast as they could with no time to spare for imagination, tight pacing, or wit. I'm going to give 0 points to the content. This is quite possibly the worst Santa I have ever seen in a movie. The filmmaker's decision to make him a former pirate sounds cool on paper, but the writers have no idea whether they want him to be a mean-spirited buccaneer or a charming, good-hearted old man. So the Santa we get is a very passive-aggressive weirdo, who flips between cheerfully whimsical and cruelly bitter at a whim. Jim Carrey's split personality character in Me, Myself and Irene was more consistent than this Santa. Dingle Kringle is a rather lousy villain. He's very one-dimensional and has nothing funny to say. When it comes down to it, he's just a creep in a Hawaiian shirt who is evil for the sake of being evil. Also, it's really frustrating how characters always believe his lies when he announces his villainy wherever he goes and has already gained a bad reputation. How dumb do you have to be to think this mustache-twiddling bad guy is sincere and honest? The elves are annoying and weird. They armpit fart when excited and take great joy from serving as Santa's bowling pins. I have no idea what the filmmakers were going for when they wrote these irritating, freaky little shits. I'm going to give 0 points to the characters. The animation for this movie is an eyesore. Character models are poorly rendered mannequins, the backgrounds are bland and uninspired, plus everyone moves so awkwardly. They don't act like how humans actually physically behave and respond to the world around them. The animation style for this movie can be summed up like this. It's like if someone kidnapped an actor, put him in a cheap, shitty motion capture suit, got him drunk off his ass, and told him to act like a stupid elf for half an hour. The animators also go for this cartoony tone, but the characters are clearly not flexible and elastic enough to pull off loony animation, so any attempts to look crazy and silly come off as nightmarish at best. I'm going to give 0 points to the animation. Joe Lasky, best known for playing Grandpa Lou Pickles in Rugrats, voices Santa in this film. While he is trying his best, he's clearly struggling with his character's identity. He's not certain if he's supposed to be a typical cheery Santa or a swashbuckling pirate, so he kind of does this strange mix of both.
Land ho! There she blows! Where are you, Dingle, ye scallywag? To his old tricks he is. Well, Dingle, time to take back what's mine. Hard to starboard, me buckos, and take us down gentle.
SpongeBob himself, Tom Kenny, voices Dingle Kringle. While he has very little to work with as an actor, he still puts in a lot of malicious energy into the role, sounding like a piratey version of Ice King from Adventure Time.
Calling all shrimps! Calling all shrimps! Listen up! Santa said if there's an emergency, I'm in charge. Well, there is, and I am.
What did he say?
Oh, Dingle, don't be ridiculous. You couldn't run a waffle iron.
Ah, pipe down, you strudel-slinging Jezebel.
I'm going to give 1 point to the voice acting. The original music for Elf Bowling the movie is uninspired and lackluster. I think this is mainly because it doesn't sound cinematic enough. Its compositions lack the production and effort required to create something theatrical. The music sounds like it's working with a Saturday morning cartoon budget, and doesn't go to any lengths to hide it. Sure, it does at least attempt to sound a little Christmassy and festive, but it's nothing remarkable or impressive. It doesn't exactly speak to the heart or do anything clever. There's also many unforgiving musical numbers in the film. Each one is incredibly lazy and forgettable. There's no inventiveness in any of these songs' lyrics or music. They seem to be placed into the movie just because the filmmakers thought, well, most Christmas movies for kids have songs. We should have musical numbers too. You can really feel a sense of obligation in all of these songs. It's quite frustrating and painful to listen to them. It doesn't help that the visuals accompanying these musical numbers aren't anything exciting or imaginative. All we get is unenthusiastic dancing and unfunny side gags. I'm going to give 0 points to the music. To conclude, Elf Bowling the movie is an ugly, awkward and humourless film with no interest in utilising its elf bowling concept. This could have been at least a funny movie about elves being crushed by bowling balls, but instead we get this soulless video game cash-in. Elf Bowling the movie has gained 1 point, which translates to 1/4 of an elf strawberry. If you enjoy untangling Christmas lights or kissing a cactus under a mistletoe, then you're going to love this movie. Come on, Henson, pull! Pull! Ah! I win. Don't get a strop about it. Well, let's see what I've won. Well, obviously there's the hat. Can't forget the hat. A hat on top of the hat. What's the joke? What kind of cough medicine does Dracula take? Calm medicine. What's my toy? I want to find my... There's no toy! There's not even a toy! There's no toy! Christmas is ruined! So what am I going to review in the next episode of Jambareeqi Reviews? Well, that's entirely up to you folks. I've made a poll that I've linked in the description box below. It's made of my own nominations, but you can nominate films as well. Cheerio, folks.